Hello everyone, this is Ben with Utah Cafe Racer, and today we are doing more headwork. One of the things I wanted to show you here is we are in the process of checking these bearing surfaces to make sure that they are lining up properly with the camshaft. And to do that, we're using something called Prussian blue. So as you can see here, we've taken some of the stuff, put it on a Q-tip, and, for lack of a better term, lapped it in the valve. Wiped it in the valve, excuse me. And in the bearing journal. And this is the start. We're going to do this on every place here in the head. And this will then transfer from the head onto the camshaft, and we'll see if everything's lining up good, if we have no high spots, just checking surfaces. So here we go. Alright, so we've put Prussian blue down in all the bearing surfaces.
We're going to rotate the cam now.
Going to rotate the cam now. So Dad, rotate the cam please. And here we go. We can see now where it was hitting and where it wasn't hitting.
It's pretty skimp right there. Here. So it's in pretty good shape.
So, does that mean we're high centered in these areas, or?
Evidently, but we do have some transfer of the blue on that bearing journal. What we're going to do is attempt it one more time.
Okay. So what we did, as you can see on the bearing journals here, now the blue is actually transferred over to the journals. So what the problem was, we found, was that there was a little teeny high spot right in here. And so let's see. Used a scraper. Handy dandy smanchy scraper here.
Scraper.
What's it called?
It's called a Babbitt scraper.
A Babbitt scraper. Took the Babbitt scraper and scraped the area that it looked like all the blue was coming off, and now it's transferring to.
We have no high spots.
We have no high spots. So I think we're good. It's very important. Very important. Okay. Thanks, Dad. Okay. So we went ahead and did camshaft number 2, and as you can see there, we've got a pretty good transfer of Prussian blue from the bearing cavity onto the journals. And this one right here, it's not as complete as you see on the others, but
we're talking millions.
We're talking millions, and you can't have a 100% seal here between the journal and the cavity, because that won't allow any oil to get through, any lubricant to happen. So,
but it did transfer.
But it did transfer. And this is probably a good idea to do before you tear everything apart, fix valves and whatnot, because that will tell you right off the bat if the head is warped and additional machining might be needed. So anyway, this is looking good enough. We're going to clean this up and press on. Well, we installed the lifters and put the cams back in and tested the clearance between these lobes and the lifter, and it looks like the exhaust was doing really good. We were within tolerance, but on the intake we were all over the place and just way too tight. So we popped out the shims that are at the top of these lifters, and we just need to measure up exactly what the right size is and put in new ones, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. So our next step is we're going to put all this away and pull up the engine, and we're going to start reassembling up until we get to where we're with the head, and then we'll call it a day. Engine block is ready for messing with. It's pretty obvious that we did not clean the exterior before tearing it apart, but when we get back together we'll give it a thorough scrubbing. So first things first, we're going to check a couple other things, make sure that down inside here where the lifters connect that there's no play. I think we tested that before, but the con rods, and excuse me, not the lifters, but the con rods, on the crankshaft. I think we tested them for see if there was any play in them, and they seem fine, but we're just going to double check. And if that looks okay, then it's reassembly time. Okay, so what we're doing here right now is creating a tool that we can use to get the circle clips back into the piston that hold the wrist pin and the connecting rod together. Does that make sense? I don't know. Let me go show you what I'm looking at. Alright, so what I was meaning is right here, here's your piston. There is a wrist pin right here that, if you can see the connecting rod here, there's a wrist pin that goes through here, and that holds the piston to the connecting rod. Well, now you've got this little clip that goes in right here, and we try to compress it, to do a couple different things, and we just can't get the damn thing in there. So making up a little tool here now, and we can actually put it on the tool, slide it in, and then hold this in place while we pull the tool out. It should snap right into place. So here's a tool that my dad designed and is working very well. So you've got this little snap ring here, and what we do is we put this ring, cinch it up down in here, and then it lines up against the piston. We've got little slots here on this side and on this side, and we're able to push the ring into the piston, holding the sleeve, or excuse me, I'm tired, holding the wrist pin in place. And as we were configuring this, we had one of these rings, and we thought, well, you know, we're not able to compress it down enough because it's just not working, so we ended up cutting on the spring a little bit, and now we kind of goofed it up, so we're going to have to get another one of these circle clips, like spring, whatever you want to call them, and so we can complete putting the pistons back on. So I'm going to shut this off here real quick and put the ring on just so you can see what it looks like. Well, we got it in. This was definitely a two-person job, and as you can see, the spring is down here on the counterbore and ready to go.
Two little slots.
We've got two little slots here, so once we have it up flush against the piston, then we are actually putting some dental tools into the sides here to slide it into the piston, into the
and we had to cut a
groove.
clearance right here too, so that it would clear some of the casting of the piston.
Right. Cool. Anything else to add? That's it? Cool. Alright, now we're going to go show what it looks like lined up.
Here, recording.
Alright, so now we've got the tool lined up here with piston number 2. And Dad, what were you saying there?
I'm just going to point it out to them. There's their little clip. There's the edge of the bore where it fits into. We're going to slide it forward, and then we're going to go ahead and pry 180 degrees apart with this dental tool and force that ring down into that groove inside that bore.
And it works really good. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we got that little ring in down there, and yeah. Anyway, we didn't make as much progress as we thought we were going to today, but that's okay. We learned something and we made something, and we'll just continue tomorrow or next time. Figured out what size shims we're going to need to replace on the lifters. So get a new snap or circlip and some lifter shims, and hopefully it's going back together here next time. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.